welcome to a new episode of Continuum Gaming, this time around in English of course, because I'm alternating the languages. And the next time around it will be in German again, but this time it's English. And today I want to present you 3 different games that can be played on a Continuum-based device like ours here, with a display connected like this. And the games will be Flip the Gun, Kung Fu Fight and Helicopter Flight Simulation. Or simulator, I'm not sure. As you may all have noticed already, I'm using a display of course, and I have a couple of other things to use here, and one of them is, for example, the Arc mouse, which is this mouse. Then I will be using the Foldable keyboard, which is this one. And I will be using the Xbox One as a wireless controller. Yes, there is a game around in this episode which can be played with this, and quite good if you ask me. And so, of course, that are the input devices I'm using in this episode, and as the main device I'm using my Lumia 950 XL, which is connected with this USB-C cable at the bottom here. It has a Mozo cover in cedarwood optic or cedarwood design at the back, and of course I'm connecting this one with this cable. I'm not even sure if you see this cable. It's here. This cable with a display dock, which is this little box at the other side here, and this little box is connected by HDMI to this display, and like that we can show this, and we can of course use our input devices like the mouse or the foldable keyboard or whatever to control the smartphone with it. And the smartphone itself is giving us all the computing power, which is giving us this image and stuff like that. Yeah, and this is a Lumia 950 XL, if I didn't mention, I think I did mention it already. And so let's have a look at the first game. Oh, and of course, my name is Jared. Yeah, so the first game is Flip the Gun, and Flip the Gun is quite a nice and funny one, I think. It's really a nice little idea, and it's really very, very easy to play. It's just a one-click game, so you just have to use your mouse for it, or your finger if you want to play it in the touch mode of the smartphone, of course. And Flip the Gun is really just quite simple, but cool if you ask me. So what you are doing here is you have a gun, so something like a Magnum or something like that, I'm not sure. And it's more or less a revolver, and like that you can, for example, just shoot with it, and by shooting it, it will be thrown around and fly up or down if you let it. And you have to bring it in the right direction and shoot in the right situation to get it up. And then you have to collect coins with the gun and stuff like that. It's really a fun game. Quite, yeah, it's hard enough, but not that hard. So there are sometimes games which are, for example, only with one button handling or something, which are very, very hard and quite, yeah, unplayable more or less. But this is playable. And it really has some kind of a fun twist to it. I like it, and let's have a look at it. So first off, I will increase the sound volume of this TV, or better to say of the smartphone first with my foldable keyboard. I have these buttons for that. So these are action buttons more or less at the keyboard, and you can use them to increase or decrease the volume, for example. Yeah, so I'm using my mouse, clicking on this now, and as you can see, you have this gun here, and you have to go up with this gun, and you see you have only a couple of shoots for that, and you're shooting and trying to get as many coins, for example, which can be collected, and you are trying to collect them, of course. So let's go and try it. So tap to shoot. First shoot, and now you have to shoot in the right situation, of course. And as you can see, you can, for example, recharge your revolver with it. And if, for example, you are now shooting at the wrong time and the gun is going down and below this lower line of your display, then you lose your game. So try it again. We had 19 now, so let's see if I can can get it a little bit higher too. Shoot, shoot, shoot. And you see it's all about, yeah, it's all about shooting at the right time and really have a good eye for when you have to shoot. So basically you have to shoot when it's really more or less straight up or straight down. The gun has to point straight down, so the throw you are getting is straight up, and like that you can really reach the highest levels and the highest parts here. So let's try it again. That's a bad one. There is it. Come on. Yeah. Okay. You see there are power-ups, so that will throw you harder to the top and stuff like that to find here. And as you have seen here, you can really try to get out of the bad situations here too, because it's really a nice little game. I really like it. Try it, and you can of course try to get rid of your spin and stuff like that. It's quite hard to control, but if you are into that kind of game and you need to challenge yourself, for example, then this game is a good one because it's solvable. It's not like being practical, unplayable or something. It's really a nice little one-click game, and you should try it. So, next time around, because I can't show you much about this anymore, if I click here, you can, for example, get different weapons. So if you get, for example, 100 of these coins, or more, whatever, you can get different weapons with this. This one is probably quite hard to use, but will throw you a lot higher than, for example, the first gun here. But as you can see, those are all to be unlocked, and I can't unlock them at the moment. So play it with this revolver first and try it after that with other stuff here. Yeah, and so I would say let's have a look at the next game. And the next game is the game we can play with the gamepad here. So you can of course use the Xbox One as wireless controller, which is a Bluetooth device, as all the other parts here too. Or you can, for example, use any other gamepad that you can connect in some way with the smartphone. If you want to know more about that and how to connect stuff, or this one, then please have a look at the edge there, or the corner there, because there I have a video for you which is telling you a little bit more about this whole stuff. And I think I didn't mention that before, so please have a look at this part too if you don't know what Continuum is, or you want to know more about Continuum, for example. Yeah, but let's have a look at the second game here. So I'm going to go to my all apps list here, and I think it's already there. Yeah, Kung Fu Fight. Kung Fu Fight is a fun little game, very minimalistic in graphics terms, because it's really made to look like, for example, a NES computer game or something. But it's really quite funny to play. You will have a few of quite funny speakings in there, because it's more or less a game where some kind of a guy on a horse, you can't really say what it is, but it's some kind of a guy on a horse who is trying to get, I think, your wife or your daughter, I'm not sure, and who is taking her with her, and you have to get her back. Of course, while taking her, he's killing your grandfather too, and that's something you have to revenge somehow. So, using the Xbox One as wireless controller, as I told you before, so as you can see, we can use it just with this controller, for example, to go through this different options here. The most important object for you, of course, is fight, but there are different things you can of course have a look at. So there are some kind of achievements in this game. You have to do several things. You can see that you have a certain amount of completion level, so how far you have gone till now, and what your rank is with that. And of course you can go out of this game and look at the credits, but you see it's quite not that much to see here. And if you don't want to use this kind of joystick, which is an analog one, you can, for example, use this digital one too, which is a little bit easier. For example, in the menu here, and so you should have a look at that. Whatever you want to use there, and A will, for example, bring you in. You can play it in Infinite Fortress mode, or you can play it in story mode. I like the story mode more, so we will have a look at that. And then you have different levels here. So normal, hard, and brutal, of course. Normal is pretty hard, actually, as you can see. So you may not want to go with another difficulty level here, but try it out. Whatever you can do here. Maybe you are better than me and then you want to play it in hard or even in brutal, whatever. So I'm going to use that, and I will start from the beginning. You can see you have certain save points where you can go on with, and for you I will just try to go with start from the beginning so you can see the story around it. So let's have a look. A long time ago in feudal China, or maybe in Japanese or in Japan, you doesn't really know. Anyway, a long time ago in one of those countries, there was a small village under the thumb of the cruel warlord. So it's a warlord. Yeah, and there you can see you are that guy. This is your grandfather probably. There's a bad warlord, and he has tried, or he has got the girl, and yeah, he's quite a cruel man, killing your grandpa or whatever with one of his soldiers there, whatever, ninja, and yeah, as you can see, he tells you that you can't beat him and stuff like that, but we may be able to, so let's have a look at it. And of course, because you have a headband there, you will be a ninja fighter now. Probably like it really is. So Kung Fu fight, but he can't go with Kung Fu, he can only do karate. So whatever. So here we run by pressing one of the many different things there. One of the many different things here is, for example, this joystick you can use for that. You can use the analog pointer here, and of course you can, for example, use the button to jump. With A, for example, you are jumping. It's a little bit unfortunate. I would say Y would be the better button for jumping, but since you are using it that much, there is a certain amount of logic in that it's the one you are easy to reach with your fingers, whatever you want to play there. And for example, you can, for example, slide. Sliding down means you are just pressing down. You can, if you want to jump and do it in a different way, you can use your joystick too. And there is, for example, fighting, so hitting someone, which is, I think, X. We will be notified about that if it's going to happen here. And as you can see, we have little small icons to tell us what to press here. So A will let him jump, and of course, if I'm just using the part there, it will do it too. We have to slide under those guys with those, whatever that is. So you have to slide under that. It's more or less something they are carrying on their backs there. So slide down to go under them around. You have to jump over those kind of whatever that is called, I'm not sure. And there will be more. Here you can see this is how you hit somebody with the X on the part here. We can start from the checkpoint now, because that little gorilla guy there was a checkpoint more or less. And now you just have to run and try to get as far as you can. Here we go. And there are different things to, or obstacles we are going to face here. So for example, these little ninja guys, we have this kind of stuff. That is unbreakable, so don't try to hit it like I'm doing here. If it's wood, we can try to kill it. If it's this race, we can try to kill it. And in all the other parts, for example, the table we have here, we shouldn't try that. So, once again, you have to come into the flow of the stuff here. If you are into that, then it's quite easy, and if you are not, you really have to wait a little. So just try to get those guys. Again, we have to jump over that. Jumping is harder than sliding, if you ask me. So if you can slide for some way or the other, you should use that one. Because jumping is really has some kind of a length where you can jump with, or how far you can jump. But sliding, for example, doesn't have that. Oh. Okay, there was at least a checkpoint, so we can try to play from there again. The red guy, as you can see, can kill us. And if I'm not... Whoa. Oh, he can even throw it at a different level. That's interesting. Didn't know that. And again. Try it again. Okay, got him this time. But on the second time not. Yeah, whatever, let's try it once again. Let's try it a few times again, just so I may get a little bit farther. You can, if you didn't know that, and I did it at the wrong time now, I think we are stopping it now, it's really getting embarrassing for me. But you can, for example, use the attack if when you are sliding, for example. So only sliding will not help you against some of the enemies, but if you are sliding and hitting at the same time, the enemy will be killed and stuff like that. So let's try it again. And as you can see, you can't just try to... Really one of the games I shouldn't play from the side here. And again. Can't be so hard to get that guy. Okay, got him. Once again. Once again. Once again. Yeah, got him. Let's see if we can... Oh. Okay, didn't even know that that was an obstacle, so you have to slide down below that one. And yeah, it's going on like that. You can see here is more or less in small information how far you have come till now. So all the green dots are more or less the parts where you get some kind of a save point or whatever, and you can just start from that again. This is something I like about this game, because in many of those games you just have to start over and over again from this point where you died, or from the start point and not from the point where you died, and that's really quite, yeah, it's quite hard then to play. It's very far to run, and in the end there is no fun in that anymore then. Yeah, so that was Kung Fu Fighting. I like this game quite a lot. You really have to play it from a different perspective here. So if I'm standing in front of the TV, I would be a little bit more successful probably. And yeah, you can use, for example, the Xbox One as a wireless controller, or one that is connected with an USB cable, or whatever you want there. It's really fun to play. Please try it out. Yeah, and then let's have a look at the last game in this episode, which is Helicopter Flight Simulator. And I have to say something about that. If you are not using the paid version of this game, it's really quite a mess, because there is a lot of ads in there. So it's not that bad. You can play it, but I really highly recommend to buy this game if you really want to play it. At the first beginning you have, I think, 5 minutes to play it for free. After that you will have to watch different ads and stuff like that to play the game, and if you are like me, that is a little bit unfortunate, because there are a lot of them and it's not that much fun then. Yeah, So let's have a look. If you buy it, then it's much more fun, and there it is. It's called Helicopter Flight Simulator 3D, different things there. And if I start it, there is probably another name for it again. But in the end, this is what we are going to do here. It's really, really a pity that you can't use a gamepad for that. It would really, I think, benefit a lot from that. But what you are using here is the keyboard or on-screen buttons with your mouse, for example. Both works quite well. I think I'm always using more or less a combination of those two because it's just more fun to play like that. And I think it's quite realistically that you can't, for example, play a helicopter or fly a helicopter without having some kind of thing to do. Okay, so we are here, we have our first mission we can play here, and there are different helicopters we can use. Different helicopters and stuff like that, that's only usable for people who buy this game, so just to let you know. And after buying, you can, for example, get some kind of this experience level. This is more or less experience points, and then you can get all of these different helicopters here. I like the optic quite a lot, it's quite nice. And you can just use whatever helicopter you want here, if you have the certain experience points, of course. And yeah, we are playing with the first one, I think, at this point. Let's see if I can find him again. I think it's this one. And let's have a look at the settings. There is only sound and music in here. So if you are ready, go on this button. This would leave you the game, so we are not using that. And let's have a look at the first mission. It's a 3D game. If you're not into helicopters or something, this might not be a good game for you, because it's not about fighting, it's not about killing other people or being very, very fast in doing something. It's a flight simulator, so something like I don't know, the flight simulator from Microsoft, for example, for bigger planes or something. So in this case, we are flying with a helicopter, as you can see, and we have to fight against fire. So this is a helicopter which can carry around a couple tons of water probably, and or liters of water, whatever. And this game is played by using the WASD part, which will bring the helicopter up or down, and with the arrow keys on your keyboard, for example, to fly around and stuff like that. First off, you have to get rid of the brake, which is this. So I will press it, and now you can see we are starting the engine like that, and now we can fly around with it. And yeah, more or less what you have to do is you have to find the fire areas, which is hard enough, if you ask me. And you really have to have a look at your altitude, for example, so don't try to fly too low. And be very aware of that there is some kind of a delay till you fly up and down, because you are really in a more or less realistic scenario here. It's not really going to be extremely easy. And now you have to search for the fire. Somewhere it will be. And fire is, of course, more or less defined by the smoke which is coming up somewhere. I'm not sure if it's here at the moment. In the few times I played this game before, I always saw it in this little town, but seems to be like it's not in this town at the moment. So let's search for another area where we can find the fire. So can't tell you at the moment where the fire is. Let's see. Here's a lot of things going on, and the fire parts are there and stuff like that, so you may have to live with a few little stutters here and there, but it's playable, and it's not really important, because you're not firing at somebody or something. You just have a little bit of stuttering here and there, but that's, as I said, not that important for such a simulation game. And for that it's really a large area you have here where you can fly around and find something. I'm probably not going to play with you all the different fires here, but only one or two if we find them at all. Whatever, let's see. That is because it really takes a lot of time to fly around here and find stuff. So let's see how many of the fires we are going to find, maybe one or two, I'm not sure, depends. Okay, and over there is a fire, you can see there are the smoke coming up, so we have to fly over there. And the game is to, at least at this first level we are playing here, after that there are different other missions where you can, for example, rescue people and stuff like that. But the game in this, or the task in this one is that you fly over it like this, and now you have to press this button. I'm not sure if there is a button on the keyboard for that. I didn't try it at least. And now you have to really just throw your water out, as I'm doing at the moment, and the moment this hits the bar, you get, for example, 100 points at this point. Yeah, and then you can see we have one of the fire areas now, where the fire is out now, so we got it out, and now we just have to fly around and find the other fire areas. And as I told you before, that can be quite of a long flight, and you really have to like helicopters for that. But if you like helicopters and flying around with them, this is really quite a nice game for that. And yeah, in reality it wouldn't be like that you are finding fires all over the place. So somehow it's, yeah, more or less realistic to fly around a little to find fires and stuff like that. It would take a little time to get those. And as I said before, I'm not sure if we are playing this to the full extent, because it's really hard to find all the fires here, and you really have to search a couple of minutes for them probably in this area. So, and of course be very cautious if you are flying against one of those hills, for example, there, or the mountains here. You are really going to die. It's not that you have some kind of a life or something that is helping you, so that you can, for example, just play along and try to go on with it. But if you are going to hit one of those hills or whatever, or one of the trees or the buildings or whatever, you are going to die. So be very careful about where you fly around. And as I said before, if we are not going to find something here, some of the fires or one of the other fires, I'm not going to play it with you through all of them. They are quite equal to each other, so you just have to find those smoky parts where there's some kind of smoke coming up, and if you find that, fly to it and try, maybe in the city, I'm not sure, let's see, and try to just make it out, yeah, whatever. Pour water all over it so that it will no longer burn. That's all you have to do here in the first mission at all. As I said before, there are other missions where, for example, you are an ambulance flyer, so you have to have a look at ambulance stuff. As you can see, there are heliports where you can land, for example, if you want to. And over there is another fire crew. We are trying to get over there. And we are just trying to get this fire out too. And after that, I would say we are leaving this game, because it's really taking a lot of time. So, as I said before, if you like those kind of simulations, this is really a cool game for that. Nicely done. Looks quite good, if you ask me. We need to go down a little bit, but be very careful. Sooner or later we are going to be at the right position for that. So try to go there. Be very careful to not hit the ground or hit some of the obstacles that are around here or something. Just go over it as we did here, and now we can just pull or pour our water over that all out, and after that we have the second fire solved. So this should it be. So the second area is good to go, and now we have to search again for the fire and throw it out, and if you have 5 of them you solve this mission and you have the next mission to go. Yeah, this is more or less all I can show you from this game. It's really quite nice. You can choose between different helicopters. You can fly around and do the simulation stuff here, and it's quite nice to play. You really have a more or less realistic feeling of a helicopter here. So there is some kind of a gravity you have to work with. You have to be very careful if you have already a throw in one of the directions. You really have to calculate in that you have to overcome that first to go in the other direction and stuff like that. It really is a nice game, and yeah, just try it out if you like helicopters. Yeah, and this brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you had fun with the episode and that there was something that you really liked here. And have a look at the games. Some of them are really, really cool, and if you like, for example, the one-click stuff or the gamepad stuff, everything is in this episode, I think. So, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, thanks for, of course, subscribing if you didn't do it till now. And yeah, if you want to subscribe, of course, you are notified if I am uploading new stuff, so, or at least if you are pressing the bell button, of course. And yeah, if I upload no new stuff, you will be notified about that. That's typically at Saturday or Sunday, depending on when I can upload this. And in general, you should have a look at that. And I hope you will be here at the next episode too. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you have any kind of questions, please have a look at the commentary section below. So give a comment, I will try to answer everything I can at least. And yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and see you at the next episode. Bye bye!